All right, everybody, welcome back to Charge Positive. I'm out here at the Van Allen Supercharger where there's 8 stalls. Currently, there's one available right there, and then we have Tesla's charging over here. There's mine. I'm pretty good right now, but there's also this Mustang blocking this stall, and oh,
I hear you guys have charging. I'm going to charge here, but I'm going to supercharge.
look at this! It's the Mach-E Vlog.
You guys ready?
They can charge here now. Let's check it out. All right. Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
Going great. So we have the new Tesla design, Ford provided adapter, NACS adapter. So we just plugged that in, and now we have the same supercharging experience. We plug it in. Takes about 15 seconds, but we're going to be supercharging. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty awesome. So are you on plug-in charge, or do you have to use the app?
So it's completely plug and charge. It bills my Ford account. I've registered on Ford.com. It has my credit card and everything. So now at the select superchargers that we have access to, we have the same plug and charge. And unfortunately, like one of the drawbacks of the Mach-E is like it doesn't show me like my charging speed on the inside. It tells me like how long it's going to take to charge. It doesn't say charging speed. But I can also, there's actual visual indicator here, so I can see when it's flashing, it's charging. You can hear the supercharger ramping up.
Yeah.
I can check in my app, which is, you know, Ford needs to really get this on the screen, but I can at least look at the app and see what my speed is.
Okay. So it's probably, what's your normal peak on a CCS station?
Like an EA 350, I'll peak at about 166. I am at 58% stated charge, so it's not going to peak that high. I'm at 111 kilowatts right now.
Okay, but you guys get that little boost for a little bit, right?
Yes, pretty much like no matter where we plug in, we get we usually get at least a little bit of a boost, but apparently like with the adapter, we're not limited by the adapter and we're not limited by the supercharger. Both are capable of 500 amps, which is more than what the Mach-E can take anyway. So we're not limited at all. We should be able to see the same speeds that we see at a regular station. But as everybody, I'm sure knows, we now have a lot more reliability. So far, we've had this about a week. Our biggest issue that we've had is stations like this. We don't want to block 2 spots if we don't have to. So we've been sort of trying to be strategic. So this one, like I'm sticking out a little bit, but at least I'm not taking up 2 spots.
Yeah, so this one, it's like you're only like three feet from the curve here anyway. So
yeah,
sticking out, you're really not sticking out that much in this particular scenario.
Yeah, we know somebody can actually get in. We've been to a couple other sites like where we park on the right end, so we're sort of outside. It's the actual supercharger, the one in Vista. I forget which one it is. But anyways, we parked on the end and we used that last stall. And we got there and it was sort of busy, so we just waited for that guy on the end to move, and then we were able to pull right in. So it's trying to be, live with our fellow EV owners. We're all in this together, and just sort of happy to have more options available.
Nice. All right. So, welcome to supercharging.
Welcome to supercharging. I like that. Yeah. It's been great. Like, online, there's been some like negative comments, but in person, everybody's been just like that. Like, welcome. It's great.
Well, I mean, I've known you for a while now.
But
I feel like this is good because, for over a year now, I've been doing this same exact thing with CCS charging.
Yeah.
Back in like October of 2022, we all got CCS adapters to use CCS stations, and now it's finally the other way around. So now we're getting this nice charging ecosystem.
And like what I've been telling people is like, it's more options are always better. Yeah. So we're really happy to have more options. I'm sure you're, even if it's not, you guys went from just like this amount to a little bit more. Going this way, we're having a lot of options and a lot of reliability. Like
for sure. I mean, that's where it's not exactly reciprocal. It's like if I wanted to use a CCS station, the only time I did that was when it was more convenient and or cheaper for me. But otherwise, I would just go to Supercharger.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody always asks like, how is road tripping? You can't road trip. Like, as you know, we've done tons of road trips on EA using CCS. We've never like had a failed like charging where we had to go scramble to charge somewhere else.
You've had to move stalls.
Yeah, but for the most part, it actually the last 6 months or so have been great. Like, so now that we have the superchargers, it's a different type of stress because We don't have all of the superchargers available to us. It's a lot of V3s, but it's not all V3s. Any V3 that has some V2s, for whatever reason, we can't charge there.
Oh yeah, there are some mixture stations. Yeah, when I was coming back from Arizona, there was or from Colorado, in Arizona, I found a station where half of it was V2 and half was V3, but the map told me it was V3. So I think it just shows if V3 is there.
Well, it's like, because we went to Quartzsite last weekend, so the big station with 84 stalls, that's all V3. We can charge there, but across the street they have 28 V3s
yeah.
and then 8 V2s, and we can't use that station at all. Even and we tested it out because we stopped in Indio as well, because they have V2s and V3s. And I was like, well, it's a V3, I should be able to plug in, and it wouldn't let us, because I just wanted to test it out. But we're still learning. We're still learning the etiquette, still like how to park the best way. Not to take up spots. And then the other thing that we've been working on is trying to like figure out like where are the bigger stations that are.
This is definitely not one of them. This is an 8-stall station,
Yeah.
but it also is a weekend and it's in the middle of a business park. So in theory, this one is kind of on average not as busy, even though it does seem to be rather busy today. But
It's busy right now.
as soon as we see it full capacity, we will move the Mach-E. Just because we're just doing this for
I
fun.
could go charge at home. Like it's sort of funny because like I've been spending so much money on supercharging in the past week. So Tesla's gotten a lot
Tesla
of my money.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Tesla that money.
I've given them lots of money. I've been charging at peak hours too, so they're
Oh,
even
yeah.
getting more money. But I have free charging at home with.
What's been the number one thing you've been most excited now that you can do this with superchargers?
I think Thursday, because we went to Laguna Beach for the reveal of the R2, R3. They had to, do some driving around. I'm like, well, let me charge on the way home. And before, like up in the LA area, it's just not great for EA. Not that they're not reliable, but they're all like these 4-stall stations. And they're always full. But it was really nice just being able to open the Tesla app and just taking a look and go, well, there's a 20 stall here and a 20 stall there. And they were busy, but there were like 6 stalls open.
Yeah,
so
the thing about the turnover rate is pretty high. So
Exactly.
even at this 8-stall charger, which it looks like there's now one car waiting, the turnover rate with supercharging is pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is too, is because we've been in Vegas when Vegas has been busy for Tesla and EA.
Yeah.
The problem is like if there's a wait for an EA station, there's only 4 stalls. But if you have a wait for like a 20-stall supercharger, they're just cycling in so quickly, and you don't have ID4s charging to 100%.
Yeah. Well, yes, we don't have any ID4s yet here.
Well, they won't see, and that was the thing. Is like, oh my god, when the ID4s go to superchargers, like, well, they're not. They're cheap. They're looking for cheap, so they're not going to camp out at 59 cents per kilowatt hour.
Yeah, their free charging won't apply to supercharging.
Yeah.
But this also means now that you can finally come on the zero runs with us and be like, like we did have other EVs on the zero runs, but now having all the by you I mean CCS vehicles, not just the Mach-E Vlog, but now on the zero run with F the Pump and SoCal EVs, we're going to be able to take lots of EVs through that whole Vegas corridor with even less stress.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had to go to Vegas right now, I mean, like Baker's not available, but that's like actually one of the decent.
Yeah.
That's one of the decent EA stations. But it just having those extra options, and then when we get to Vegas, having extra options there as well.
Which they're opening up. I think 2 or 3 superchargers just open up in the last 3 to 6 months in Vegas as it is. In fact, I hope soon, if it's not already open, but that Red Rock supercharger is gonna be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
It's on the west side of Vegas. So
see, and that's the other thing is like when we first got our Mach-E, it's just been over 3 years ago. EA was good, and like we'd get to a station and they were like, there was never anybody there. Like you just get your EV and you're like, let's pull in and see somebody else. You're like, we were the only ones there. Now they're always full, and EA just has not kept up. Like they have not deployed hardly any stations. I think in California,
or expanded stations. We need to expand. Like any of the 3 or 4 stalls need to get bigger. But
we talked to one of their PR people, and they're like, it's just easier just to deploy a whole new station. And I think it's basically, again, it's like poor planning on their part, where they have 4 stalls at a Walmart, and for them to take more than that, it's like a whole new project. It's like they didn't think about the future.
Well, I've yet to really see any bigger than 10 stalls. I've heard of like a few 10 or 12 stalls. But anyway, today's news is about being able to use the supercharger. So we don't want to. There's plenty of stuff out there talking about the CCS networks, which they're not all bad. It's just they need to get better. And you know, we'll be seeing them adding the NACS handle as well. Anyway, at some point. Yeah.
Yep. But this has been really good. It's you know, like I was saying, it's a bit different type of stress because, well, like at this station, if there's 4 of 8 available, if you have a Tesla, you're like, I'll just like I'm good.
Yeah.
But here, if people space out, you know, and it was the certain ones were in use, like we still could charge. So it's like we gotta, you know, have our fingers crossed that it's a proper configuration or park next to each other. And we're trying to learn too and help each other out. We're trying to help other Ford EV owners like aim for the right because a lot of times, or if there's a situation like this, you know, take the one that doesn't block. And you know, the typical stuff that every EV owner should know, like don't go above 80% when it's busy, you know.
Which, you know, every EV owner is different. I mean, that's the other thing. So we're going to get into etiquette pretty soon here, but you know, even the brand, you know, there's a lot of brand new EV owners that either their Tesla's brand new or Mach-E, it's their first EV ever. And so across on both sides of the aisle, if you will, there's a lot of fresh people that are getting into EV charging for the first time anyway. All right, Patrick. So what is your advice to new CCS to supercharger or NACS people? How should they go about charging in a supercharger?
There's a lot of things to consider. Things are going to get easier as Ford like integrates it more into the nav system. Like we have great EV routing. They haven't included the superchargers yet. That's to come in the next month or two, I think.
That's the Blue Oval network, or
no, just in our navigation system.
Oh, okay.
So like we can go ahead and we can find them. We can, if we look for chargers, we can find them in our charging app. But they haven't integrated them into the nav because they're still testing out, making sure things. That's part of what I'm doing is I'm sending them feedback. But I think the main thing is like just treat it like a normal EV charging station and be respectful to your other EV owners. If it's a busy charger, you might want to like find an alternative if you can. If you're on a road trip, you're just going to stop where it tells you to stop. But be mindful, you know, like don't sit there and let it go up to 100% or 90% or whatever. And in a station like this where it's busy and everybody's moving around, I think I should probably go unplug and we can.
Yeah. So right before we unplug, let's talk about how did we choose this station today?
So looking here, like any of the ones where I got to pull in all the way to the front, because our charge port is on the left front side, I would have to park to the right of the charger. So it means I'm basically taking up 2 charging stations for my one car. But we saw these this is the first time I've used one of the ones that's on the side. So this has been great. I'm not completely all the way in the stall, but I'm in far enough to where there's not tension on the cable. But I'm able to easily plug in. So this is the reason why, like, we actually sat here for a minute and waited just to make sure that, you know, I could use one of these versus taking up 2 because it's busy over there.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I know people won't be able to do that. And you just got to go and you got to charge when you got to charge. But in a case like this, we're just filming a video. I don't really need to charge. It's like I can wait a few minutes.
Yeah.
And just not interrupt other people. So.
Well, it's good to be mindful no matter what you drive or charge.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, we're all humans in this planet together, you know, we're all EV owners. And I want other EV owners to have a good, positive experience, whatever brand that they drive. So.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Actually, this scenario is actually working pretty well. You're only sticking out about 3 feet.
Yeah.
If it's a busy driveway, this might not be ideal, but you know, until we get those extensions, it's not going to be ideal, but it is going to be better than last year.
Yeah. And there are times when like, we were at some stations where we were basically the only one charging. That one, I forget, it's like right outside of In and Out. They had 20 stalls. There was 3 of us charging. I could have parked parallel park and it wouldn't have made a difference, but that's rare. Here, we're still pretty full. I think there's 2 open spots, but I'm up close to 80%. I should probably just go ahead.
They do come in waves, but yeah, if you only charge, you know, really what you need.
Yeah, that was costly. That was charging for no reason other than to do a video. The only thing here is like we got to undo the latch. And if you've ever seen the Magic docks, this is basically like the same adapter that's in the Magic dock, which is, you know, even if we didn't know, even if Tesla didn't say they designed this, you could tell by that because it basically looks exactly like the Magic dock. But actually, I can show you back here real quick. So there are potentially other adapters coming. This is the only one that's officially supported right now. This is from a company A2Z. We did a video review on this. It's not like UL listed or anything like that because they're still writing the standard. But I talked to the people that were behind it, the engineering. I feel fairly confident in this, and I think there's going to be other adapters coming out. You can tell like they're both fairly hefty.
The A to Z is kind of sleek, actually. That looks
Yeah,
cool.
I like it a lot. It's sort of easier to just hold and guide in. The latches are a little bit different. This one is like it's easy to unlock it, and it has to be locked or else you can't charge. We're still learning. We'll test out all this stuff and make sure people are being safe. But I'm going to move the car just in case anybody needs the charge.
All right, well, that's going to be pretty painless. For a semi-busy supercharger, we found a good stall. You didn't really block anybody. There's ways to go about it. So you got sent the adapter by Ford.
Right.
I've heard that the website crashed when everybody's, oh my God, I get one, because everybody's so excited about it.
Yeah.
What do you know about the timeline about other Ford customers being able to get their adapters?
So the ordering process is still there. I forget the link, but if you Google like ordering it, I'm sure you can find it, or go to Mach-E Vlog. Maybe I'll put a pop up there. But yeah, it's basically right now from what I've heard, like people that just put in their order like yesterday, their timeline is September. For some people that just put in their order, a lot of us that put it in initially, we got like April timeline. So hopefully it'll be quicker, and that's why there's a lot of interest in like an A to Z adapter.
Right.
Like I don't want to be like everybody go buy that because it
that's
isn't
the thing.
certified.
So Ford is sending them for free, right?
Right.
How much is the A to Z or other adapters?
It's about 200. Ford's is going to be like 230 or 250. I can't remember, but it's free if you get it in before June 30th, and it's like they get your VIN, so it's like one per VIN. And there is a little bit of process. They want to make sure you still own the vehicle and still live at the address when you initially bought it. But it's pretty painless. And there's a software update that needs to go to the cars. It's already rolling out. We got it before we got our adapter, and that enables plug and charge. So it's just like quick and simple and easy. Like I said, after they sort of go through the rollout early stages, then they'll update it so that in the nav you just click whether or not you have an adapter or not. And if you have the adapter, it's going to add superchargers in. So it's like some spots it might put you at EA, some it might put you at a supercharger, depending on which one is like closest to the freeway and open and available. So it should handle all that pretty well. But
so with plug and charge, you're paying essentially the 30% markup. Is that true? Or
there's some type of markup, and we were trying to figure it out. It varies by like time of day and by station. And if we want the discount, we can pay the $13 a month, and then we'll pay the same rate as Tesla, but then we can't do plug and charge. So we have to activate it using the Tesla app, which it isn't that bad. It's
that's kind of like what I would do with Electrify America.
Right.
You swipe to charge to do that. So right now you're not doing the membership. Are you considering going for the membership like perhaps this summer when you're planning to do a bunch of road trips?
Yeah, and that's what we're telling people. I think somebody did a calculation, and the break even is just over like 100 kilowatt hours. So that's like two road trip charges. Like if you're going to do more than 2 road trip charges, turn it on. Or if you just like convenience, just say to hell with it and just use plug and charge and don't worry about it.
So it sounds like a potential case that I can think of right now is someone who's really excited to go EV. They get a great deal on a Mach-E and they can't charge at home. Maybe that's a good time to go for the membership, is if you're going to always be charging in public. That would be the way to go.
100%. Like if you're going to be charging more than twice a month, out and about, and you need to save that money, yeah, you definitely want to do it. If you're doing it like 2 or 3 times a week, yeah.
So actually, the first 6 months I had my Chevy Bolt, I actually did not have home charging. We only had a 110 outlet, and I had to share that with my roommate who has a Prius Prime. So really, I didn't share it because he had to use the outlet. Anyway, so I did about 6 months straight of just charging off EVgo, ChargePoint, sometimes Electrify America. I use Electrify America more on road trips. But yeah, it is doable. And if you want to hop in and you want to get rid of your gas car or just get into EV charging, more supercharging opens up a lot of doors for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean that's the bottom line is like more charging options. Like we were talking about both ways. It's like we're getting more charging stations, more charging options, more reliable charging, and it's not just about fast chargers. We're getting more the Voltas and things like that that are going to be at grocery stores. As I sort of try to tell people, is like we're almost it's the worst it's going to get right now. It's just getting better and better. We're getting more charging options. We're getting more EV options. I mean, those Rivians the other day look pretty sweet as well.
Yeah.
The Cybertruck. I just dropped Liv off, and there was a Cybertruck across the street.
Yeah. It was a little bit like a mental, like, a Rivian with the NACS port already on it. That was the first time I saw, besides Aptera, a non-Tesla with the NACS port already on it.
That was it blew my mind, especially on the R3. It's literally like about that big versus this giant monstrosity. So yeah.
Well, these are exciting times, Patrick, and as they say on their channel, no matter what you drive, or in this case, where you charge, enjoy the ride and enjoy the charge. Thanks for coming out today, and I'll see you on the road.
Yes.
All right.
I heard you had electrons around here.
What are you doing here?
You have some electricity around here?